Dirty Lady Emerald Red or White Seedless Grapes, only $3.99 per pound. Fresh assorted pork chops, just $3.49 per pound. Select varieties of Arm & Hammer laundry detergent, only $9.99 for a 61.25-ounce bottle. Select varieties of Kraft shredded cheese, just $4.09 for an 8-ounce bag. Blue Bottom margarine sticks, only $1.99 for a 1-pound box. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Friday, October 6, 2017. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us tonight. Topping our newscast, a new twist in the ongoing saga surrounding Dr. Freddie Evans. As Gary Moreno tells us in this report, Dr. Evans has not been terminated from the post of Commissioner of Education, but that's not the end of it.
You're probably wondering what we're talking about. Well, here's the deal. Mark Deal, the attorney representing Dr. Evans, yesterday received a letter from the Public Services Commission advising that Dr. Evans has not been terminated from the post of Commissioner of Education. But, get this, according to the letter, which was also sent to Mrs. Valerie Robinson James, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, neither has Dr. Evans been confirmed in the position. The Commission, blaming its previous correspondence informing Dr. Evans that it had recommended he be appointed to his former post of Assistant Director on an administrative error. Now, we've not been able to determine what that error was, and when we contacted the PSC for an explanation, they declined comment. However, now Dr. Evans has been invited to attend the next meeting of the PSC on Monday of next week to discuss its recommendation. A recommendation, it's felt, which was provided by the Permanent Secretary, despite her reportedly not having the authority to do so. There is also some confusion as to Dr. Evans being issued the first letter from the PSC on Monday of this week, when his probationary period ended on Saturday, 30th September. The recommendation from the Commission described as unfair and not proper. Further, the recommendation was sent to the Permanent Secretary and not to Dr. Evans until a full 2 days after his probationary period had expired. Elsewhere, Dr. Evans' attorney Mark Deal arguing that his client's contract states he can only be terminated by the governor, and now that the PSC has indicated he has not been terminated from the post of Commissioner of Education, the Ministry of Education should retract its statement issued on Monday, indicating that it can confirm that Dr. Evans has been relieved of his duties as Commissioner of Education. Mr. Deal saying, quote, "You will of course note that it cannot now be an issue that your statements were wrong and defamatory. The only issue will be the amount of damages our client is to recover," unquote. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Elsewhere, the appointment of Pastor Leroy Bean as the island's first ever gang violence reduction coordinator has been praised by many, but not sitting well with everyone tonight. Trevor Munez, the Shadow Minister for Legal Affairs, questioning Pastor Bean's appointment in the House of Assembly today, stating government should not be promoting people who are subject to inquiry until that process has been completed.
Yeah, I have a concern with the government in the sense that they are appointing certain people that are under a shadow. We already have one member of cabinet, St. De Silva, with his outstanding legal case concerning his behavior as a trustee of Port Royal. Now we have Pastor Leroy Bean, who had concerns expressed about his behavior by both the previous Premier Paula Cox and by the Auditor General. So it seems to be a practice of this government to be appointing people to positions who are under a cloud, and it just concerns me what signal that sends to the community.
Do you feel that there is someone else better suited for that role?
Well, it's very confusing because there's already someone in that role. So of course they're appointing someone else to the same role, so they now have two people in the same role. Of course that means you're spending more money. Now, this government said they're going to balance the budget by next year. Well, I'm not sure how you're going to do that if in a number of areas you keep spending more money.
Premier and Finance Minister David Burt today tabled before Parliament an unreleased report that looks at reforming the island's tax structure. The report was compiled by the Caribbean Regional Technical Assistance Centre and was commissioned by the former OBA government but never publicized. However, Mr. Burt revealed the Caribbean team were not able to get all of the information they sought from government.
Many of the stakeholders requested access to the document which was prepared, but the former government refused to share its contents. In keeping with its pledges of transparency, this government has now tabled the CARTAC review in Parliament so that parliamentarians and members of the community can be made aware of the recommendations. The report indicates that the main objective of the tax review was to increase tax revenues. The former government's preference was to increase the revenue provided by existing taxes, though they were open to proposals that would expand the tax base and provide equity. Another objective was not to increase the size of the tax administration, but rather to improve its efficiency and simplify compliance. Therefore, the introduction of a full-fledged income tax or value-added tax was ruled out.
The review covered the main taxes, including payroll, customs duties, stamp duties, among others.
An in-depth review of the tax administration's procedures was also undertaken to identify how the tax administration could cope with proposed policy changes and what were the reforms that could improve its operations even if policy changes were not introduced. The recommendations of the mission are included on pages 10 to 13 of the report, and I would encourage honorable members and the general public to review the report and recommendations as this government prepares to establish the Tax Reform Commission, who will also conduct a review of our tax system, but with a much wider mandate.
In other news from the lower house, government is moving forward with efforts to generate activity and revenue from Bermuda's lucrative satellite slot in outer space. Transport Minister Walter Raban told Parliament today the slot, called Bermuda Sat-1, has the ability to generate around $30 million a year in government revenue. But the task first is finding a company or organization to occupy the orbital slot.
The goal ultimately is to be earning money from that slot. Its overall value is in the billions of dollars, but that is just its sort of standing value. The goal is to have that making money for us. That would mean having a satellite or some orbital object up there that is generating revenue and activity that is creating some commercial value, such as some transmission of some sort of channels or sort of activity, and from that Bermuda can generate funds.
Elsewhere, the minister revealing to the House that government has been in talks with British police to learn from their roadside sobriety testing. The consultation took place following constitutional concerns locally over the plans.
This government is in support of deploying roadside sobriety testing. We are working through the legal issues. I'm working in concert with my colleague, the Minister of National Security, to work through these issues so that by the end of this parliamentary year, we will have that in place in Bermuda. We are experiencing an epidemic on our roads with deaths and injuries. This has to be declined as quickly as we can, because we can't have a year where we have 11 people have died on our roads for the year.
Stay with us. More news after the break.
More people today rely on Mailboxes U.S. Express to bring their internet shopping into Bermuda than any other shipping service. Why? Because it's cheaper, quicker, and our staff are friendlier. Large international couriers charge more than $80 to bring a 1-pound package into Bermuda. When you use U.S. Express, you pay only $19.50. So when you're shopping online, trust the service that brings in more packages to Bermuda than anyone else. Mailboxes U.S. Express. Sign up today.
Looking for a challenge, new adventures, forge lifelong friendships, and earn an extra $5,000 to $6,000 a year?
Good stuff.
Be a part of a proud and honorable legacy of service. The Royal Bermuda Regiment is seeking volunteers.
Let's go, guys!
Call us at 238-1045 or visit bermudaregiment.bm. The Royal Bermuda Regiment. Your regiment.
2 hurricanes have devastated large parts of the Caribbean. Now Bermuda has a chance to help out. On Thursday, October the 12th, Bermuda Broadcasting will host the West Indian Association's live telethon in aid of Caribbean hurricane relief, Give from the Heart. Live from 6 p.m. on ZFB TV 7 and Power 95 FM radio. It will include music, exclusive reports, and eyewitness accounts. Show your support on Thursday and give from the heart.
Bermuda Broadcasting streams the news live on Facebook. Go to Facebook and look up ZBM News 9 and press the like button. You'll get notifications just before the news starts each night. And all of our newscasts are stored there so you can watch them 24/7 at your convenience. Bermuda Broadcasting wants to make it easy for you to stay up to date with your local news. So please sign up to watch us on Facebook Live 24/7 for up-to-date news from Bermuda Broadcasting.
Over 500 youth and 150 adults from the United States will discuss more than religion during the AME's 46th Youth District Conference at the Fairmount Southampton this weekend. Mike Sharp has our story.
Those from the Youth People's Division, YPD, in Philadelphia, New Jersey, New England, Delaware, New York, and Bermuda will hear lectures on social justice and the political environment. We hear more from Reverend Dr. Jessica Candell Ingram, Episcopal Supervisor, and Susan Butler, 1st District YPD Director.
We will be here from now until Sunday, and it's going to be a weekend filled with a lot of activities. The theme is Stay Woke. Hashtag
Stay Woke.
Stay woke.
Stay woke, yes.
And that means what?
To be staying woke, stay focused, stay woke in this political environment and the culture we're living in now, and be social justice minded. Yeah.
You sound like you're taking me to take the knee, like the NFL.
Yes, yeah, we got to take a knee, but yeah, we want our young people to be conscious of what's going on in their environment and being engaged in it to make change in our respective environments, have an impact.
So politics does surface a bit in some of the discussion here.
Yes, sir. We will be. We have a workshop. One of our workshops is being done is about staying woke and how the young people can be engaged in politics and social change in their respective communities. We have workshops on like Black Lives Matter, YPD Lives Matter, that our young people's lives matter. We just want to, and we're also here to build up the strong young people. So all of this is just to make them better young people, better citizens, and better in their communities.
Bishop Gregory G.M. Ingram had this to say about world communities, change, racism, and matters such as NFL players taking a knee.
I think by and large, change is a great order of the universe, and people are advocating certain things. Somehow the real message gets sometimes misconstrued, and people sometimes misappropriate what you're really trying to do and what you're trying to say. As we talk about speaking truth to power, what is it? Not just the symbolism of certain things, but the idea, the intent, really what you're really all about. And I think by and large, people are standing up saying that we want to be heard, from the least to the greatest, and those persons who seemingly are in control and in power. Those things can only happen. One of the things that happens when you start dealing with, you used the phrase a minute ago about the totem pole, those persons on the bottom sometimes are overlooked because they're viewed only as things of commodities. And so by and large, when people rise up and say that, oh, I want to be heard, you know, I'm not just a figure, I'm not just a dot, I'm not just a number, if you will. I'm a real person. I have needs, concerns, and pains just like anyone else. And I think all across the world, people are rising up, stating and at least challenging and saying some things about them.
And I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
2 physicians working in the areas of organ transplantation and cancer care from Johns Hopkins Medicine in Baltimore, Maryland are on island for a closed event with local doctors to discuss the needs of Bermuda. Dr. Jacqueline Goronzik Wang, a specialist in kidney, liver, and pancreas transplants, tells us how the diseases that lead to organ failure are on the rise globally.
You know, like the rest of the world, chronic kidney disease and end-stage kidney disease is something that's increasing significantly here on the island as well as throughout the country. So we have more and more patients that are needing to undergo dialysis on a daily or nightly basis. And that's much like the general population across the United States. In addition to that, the diseases that are leading to kidney disease and liver problems as well, such as diabetes and hypertension, are also factors that are increasing across the country and here as well. So we have no shortage of patients who need our help. So it's just a matter of trying to kind of get to them and do our best to help them and provide them the care they need.
Meanwhile, black men especially are advised to take special precautions to screen for prostate cancer.
Prostate cancer is a very common cancer in men. In the United States, it's one of the most common cancers. Not much has been studied about the Bermudian population, but we do know that in men of African American descent, prostate cancer behaves differently than prostate cancer in Caucasian men. And so it's our goal to make sure that all the Bermudian population gets good prostate cancer care.
Now let's head over to the AccuWeather headquarters for the latest.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by the BF&M Insurance Group, and the good news in Bermuda is that Tropical Storm Nate will stay away. In fact, it's far from us. It's way off to the southwest. You can see some clouds nearby. A couple of brief showers are still possible into Bermuda, but as we look way to the southwest, it's more of a concern for Cozumel and Cancun. That's where we have our Tropical Storm Nate churning, and we do expect this to strengthen. We are concerned that it could possibly become a hurricane by the time it makes landfall in the middle of the weekend, late Saturday night or Sunday morning along the central Gulf Coast of the United States. It will then move across the northeastern U.S., bringing some much-needed rain to that area. It's not our issue in Bermuda, but you can see some clouds and some slightly more agitated weather just to our south. Occasional rounds of rain. Here's the satellite estimate of where the rain is falling, even far from any radar spot. Here we have the current conditions. We're running a little warmer out there right now. Temperatures close to 80 degrees across the island. Humidity level around 70 to 75%. Winds from the southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Water temp beginning to cool down just a little bit. We're down to 78 degrees for the water temp. On the inside of the reef, waves are 1 to 2 feet, but on the outside, 3 to 6 footers continue to roll, so you may get knocked around a little bit if you're going to be on a boat tonight. We will cool down to 76, some clouds, and there will still be a few showers, as we could see here with the satellite. There are a lot of clouds nearby and to the south, and we don't expect that to change much, so the shower chances remain in our forecast into the day tomorrow. A mix of sunshine and clouds, a few showers here and there in the afternoon. 81 your anticipated high. The tidal chart here shows that we're dealing with the conditions basically increasing once again. High tide at 10 p.m. on the nose for the late evening crew, and then early in the morning, 4:03 a.m. For the early risers before sunrise, another low tide. You can find those sand dollars. Maybe the better bet will be the mid-afternoon low tide if you want to get back out there. As we look at the Gateway forecast, it's still warm across the eastern part of the North American continent. We have New York at 80, Boston at 76, and even Toronto 79. That's well above average for this time of the year. We will see a bit of a cool down after about 5 days pass. But when it comes to tropical development, Tropical Storm Nate is the main show. That's moving from the Caribbean into the Gulf of Mexico. It's not our issue. There are some typical showers and thunderstorms into Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago. There's another tropical wave way out there to the east, and it's at a similar latitude to us in Bermuda, so that is not going to be a concern. It's about as close to Europe as it is to us, so that other tropical wave is not going to be a concern, even if it does likely become some form of a tropical or subtropical system. So we have a few showers in the Saturday forecast, and then we're back to a drier forecast with fewer clouds into Tuesday and Wednesday, and a nice time, so we are looking good out there. I just wanted to remind you that you have plenty of options on the radio. Ocean 89, Power 95, and Inspire 105 for some good music and news and weather information.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
You can count on the marketplace for quality products, pricing and service. Our produce comes from local farms and around the world. It's fresh, it's convenient, and we have a variety of organics. Our meats are custom cut and stored daily. We source the most sustainable fresh seafood. Our friendly professional butchers are here to meet your needs. You'll find trusted brands in gourmet and international products. Our ShopRite line offers the best quality for value. We've got a full complement of gluten-free and organic choices too. Our people take pride in their customer service.
Did you find everything you was looking for?
Shop at the marketplace because we're the supermarket you and your family can count on. We have 8 marketplace locations island-wide. And we're open Monday to Sunday for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
Let's join Earl Basden with tonight's sports report.
Bermuda's women's field hockey team has been selected for the upcoming CAC qualifiers in Jamaica.
Bermuda will play 6 games in 8 days, with only the 2 finalists qualifying for the 2018 CAC Games hockey in Colombia. Bermuda will take on Puerto Rico on November 5th. They will then face Guatemala the next day. November 8th, Bermuda will go up against Panama before facing Guyana on November 9th. After a day off, Bermuda will then face host Jamaica in their final group match, with the playoffs scheduled for the next day. The Bermuda team is as follows: Angela Dunstan, Jayla Swan, Jennifer Chisnow, Selena Witter, Lakay Tavares, Taylor Mullen, Keisha Robinson, Renee Greenslade, Jasmine Patterson, Krista Smith, Alex Francis, Iman Smith, Azari Thomas, Tiana Booth, Maya Palacio, and Maha Clark. The indoor season for Jillian Teixeira and Tyler Lopes is underway. Teixeira and Lopes competed on day 1 of the Pelbergen International Horse Jumping event in Belgium. Teixeira, riding Mai, competed in the 1.05 meter L in 2 phases class, finishing 40th. The pair recorded a first phase time of 51.44, but they had 4 penalty fault points. They then clocked a clear second phase time of 40.36. Lopes, competing in the same class, finished 60th, riding Jakova. They clocked a first phase time of 43.73 with 8 penalty fault points, which was followed by a second phase time of 60.24 and 11 penalty fault points. Nathan Trott, the West Ham United first choice under-23 stopper, was on the bench with Bournemouth goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale between the sticks as England's under-20s recorded a comprehensive 5-1 victory over Italy yesterday. A first-half goal by the University of Pittsburgh men's soccer team lifted Marique Hill and his teammates over number 14th-ranked Colombia 1-0 at the Rocco Comisio Stadium. Meanwhile, Jamal Emery, McQueen Walker, Zenawi Bowen, Darren Woolridge, and their Thomas College men's soccer teammates fell to the University of Southern Maine 1-0 on a late penalty kick in non-conference play at Smith Field. A pair of goals from sophomore Eric Snyder and a stingy defense was the recipe for victory by Jairzinho Bremer, Jakeem Hunt, and their Johnson & Wales University men's soccer teammates. Johnson & Wales went on the road and defeated Mount Ida 2-0. James Stout, the current leader on the world ranking systems for rackets, will take on number 3 ranked Tom Billings in the Racket World Singles Challenge. The World Singles Challenge first leg will take place in New York on November the 11th before heading to London for the second leg on November 18th at the Queen's Club. Earlier this year, Stout defeated Billings in the U.S. Open Singles Championship final. That win saw Stout run his consecutive singles match winning streak to 99. Mitchell competed in the 41st annual Kawasaki Motocross Race of Champions in New Jersey, competing in the 250A Pro AM division. Mitchell finished 4th. Mitchell would go one better when he finished on the podium in the Open Expert class. Mitchell recently competed in the South Carolina State Championship Hammer, where he finished 2nd, competing in the 450 AM Pro division. The 2017-18 Bermuda Bicycle Association's Mountain Bike Race Series season has been announced. The classes include male A, B, veteran, and novice, while female A, B, veteran, and novice. It also sees the 13 to 15 male and female division and the 12 and under male and female division. The point series winner will be the rider with the highest number of accumulated points from their 7 best races in the series. In second spring senior Boating League action at the Warwick Lanes, it saw the last minutes defeat the Blue Angels 3-1. The Drifters defeated Old and Kicking 3-1, while the Pin Splitters went down 3-1 to the newcomers. The Islanders defeated the Last Pin 3-1. A trio of young cricketers will receive $833 each towards the cost of their tuition in the 2017-18 academic year, as the Bermuda Cricket Board announced that it will be awarding educational scholarships to 3 young elite players in its high-performance program. The funds are available due to the generous support of Archery. The 3 selected are Shari Smith, Jordan Smith, and Anzari Painter. Again, congratulations to you, Jasmine, for making the Bermuda national hockey team. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Hurricanes have devastated large parts of the Caribbean. Now Bermuda has a chance to help out. On Thursday, October the 12th, Bermuda Broadcasting will host the West Indian Association's live telethon in aid of Caribbean hurricane relief, Give from the Heart. Live from 6 p.m. on ZFB TV 7 and Power 95 FM radio. It will include music, exclusive reports, and eyewitness accounts. Show your support on Thursday and give from the heart.
St. George? I mustn't. Are you there for me? My heart is gone. I will leave it back. Oh, hardly. A better living for himself in there.
Well, I thank you, Earl, and thank you to my teammates as well. Congratulations. We look forward to competing in Jamaica. Now, members of the Halton Regional Police Band have been involved in Police Week activities in Bermuda. The visitors are celebrating their 30th anniversary and attend more than 50 events a year. The Pipe Band consists of policemen and members of their community in Canada. Halton's Deputy Commissioner Nishan Doraipa.
On behalf of the Halton Regional Police, we want to thank the Bermuda Police Service for welcoming us here this week for the Police Memorial Police Week activities. Commissioner, thank you very much for your hospitality and your staff. Our team of over 20 pipes and drums have been here all week performing at a variety of events commemorating Police Week. But this occasion today is quite significant because, as you know, we're from Halton Regional Police, Ontario, Canada. We represent a regional municipality of over 600,000 population covering 4 cities. We have about 1,000 members of our police agency, and we are quite honored at the gracious permission of our chief, Stephen Tanner, to have our pipes and drums here.
And that's our broadcast for this Friday evening. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for watching. Have an enjoyable weekend.
Jasmine Patterson's wardrobe and makeup is provided by Gibbons Company.